Eric Hartley stood backstage at the America's Got Talent auditorium, his fingers trembling lightly over the neck of his guitar. The weight of the moment pressed against him like a physical force, thick, heavy, suffocating, and yet strangely comforting, like a truth that had waited far too long to be spoken. The crowd on the other side of the curtain buzzed with excitement. The stage crew rushed around him, checking cables, marking positions, and giving him polite, rehearsed smiles. But Eric could barely feel any of it. He was too deep in the memories that had brought him here, memories of her. Evelyn, his ex-wife, his once best friend, his almost forever, and the reason he was about to perform the most vulnerable song he had ever written. The marriage that almost survived. Eric remembered the first time he met Evelyn. She had been sitting in the corner of a small coffee shop in Chicago, reading a book while the rain tapped softly against the windows. Her hair fell in soft curls across her face, and the gentle curve of her smile made something in Eric stop, like the world had taken a breath and held it just for him. Back then, he was nobody. Just a college student working part-time and playing small gigs in bars so tiny they barely fit 2 tables and a microphone stand. Evelyn, on the other hand, was studying architecture, dreaming of designing homes that felt as warm as the ones she never had. They shared their brokenness early, and openly. Maybe that was what bound them together. 2 incomplete hearts trying to fill the cracks in each other. Their love grew fast, too fast, some people said, but neither listened. They married at 24, full of dreams, plans, and promises whispered in the night. But life rarely respects the promises made by the young. Money was tight. Jobs slipped through fingers like dust. Eric traveled constantly for his small music gigs, while Evelyn's career blossomed. The distance between their dreams became the distance between their hearts. Arguments started small, then grew sharp. The home they built began to feel like a house full of echoes, echoes of what they used to be. And the night she walked out, carrying only a suitcase and her wedding ring resting on his writing desk, Eric realized too late that he had spent years trying to succeed while forgetting the person he was trying to succeed for. He wrote 100 songs after the divorce. None of them healed him. None of them reached her. Until this one. Eric Hartley. A staff member tapped him lightly on the shoulder. "You're up in 30 seconds. He nodded, though his throat felt too tight to speak. He wiped his sweaty palms on his jeans and exhaled slowly. He wasn't here to win. He wasn't here for fame. He was here to let go. To say the words he should have said years ago. To apologize through the only language he truly knew, music. As he stepped forward, the curtain slowly parted, and the stage lights washed over him in a warm wave of gold and white. Thousands of eyes turned to him. Cameras zoomed in. Judges leaned forward. But Eric didn't see any of them. He saw her. Evelyn. Not physically, no, she wasn't there. He knew that. But the memory of her smile, her laugh, the way she used to lean her head on his shoulder during long train rides, all of it stood on stage with him. He swallowed hard, and walked into the light. "Hello," Simon said, leaning in. "What's your name?" "Eric Hartley." "And what are you doing for us today?" Sophia asked, her voice gentle. Eric gripped his guitar, steadying himself. I'm going to sing an original song." "Wonderful," Heidi smiled. "Who is it about?" Eric hesitated. The audience leaned in. The silence thickened. "My ex-wife." There was an audible reaction, a soft murmur. From the crowd, a few gasps, a hint of sympathy. Simon tilted his head. "Your ex-wife?" "Yes." Eric forced a small breath. "It's the song I never got to sing for her. A song I wrote long after she left. I wrote it too late." The judges went quiet. "Take your time," Simon said softly. Eric nodded. Time. He had spent years wishing for more of it. But tonight, the time had finally come. He lifted his guitar. His fingers pressed the first chord, familiar, fragile, trembling. And then he sang. "I built my dreams too high. And forgot you were climbing alone. I chased the world outside. While ignoring the world in our home. You held the pieces quiet. And I thought we'd never break. But love is a fragile riot. And I realized too late. I'm sorry for the nights you cried. To the echo of a closing door. I'm sorry for the part of me that always wanted more. If time could turn us back again, I'd choose you over every fight. But the hardest truth I've ever learned is letting go of my own pride tonight." The auditorium went utterly still. Eric's voice cracked slightly on the last line, but he didn't stop. He pushed through it, pouring years of regret, guilt, and love into every note. I hope you found the kind of home I never learned to build for you. I hope someone gives you every day the warmth I never knew. And though you're gone, I finally see the man I should have been. So this is the song I never sang. For the woman I lost back then. When the last chord faded, Eric let his hand fall to his side. His vision blurred. His throat burned. The air itself felt too heavy to breathe. But it was done. The song was no longer inside him. Silence lingered for a full 3 seconds, 3 long, trembling seconds, before the crowd rose to their feet in a roaring standing ovation. Eric blinked through his tears as the judges stood too. Sofia Dombrovsky wiped her eyes. That, she said, her voice breaking, that was one of the most emotional performances we've ever had on this show. Eric, Simon began, leaning closer. I've heard thousands of songs about love and heartbreak. But what you did tonight wasn't a performance. It was a confession, a final letter. And I hope, wherever she is, she hears it. Eric nodded, unable to speak. You have such raw honesty in your voice, Heidi added. It felt like you opened your chest and let us see everything inside. How he leaned forward. I believe millions of people will relate to this. To loving someone too late. To realizing you should have said something when you had the chance. Eric's breath trembled. So, Simon said, I think this is an easy one. All 4 judges raised their hands. The crowd exploded again. Eric lowered his head, covering his face with his hand as tears finally fell freely. Thank you, Evelyn. That night, Eric's audition went viral across every platform. Millions reshared the clip with comments like, the pain in his voice. I can't stop crying. This song feels like every relationship I ruined. But what surprised Eric most was the message that appeared in his inbox 2 days later. It was from Evelyn. He stared at the screen for a long time before opening it. Hi Eric. I watched your audition. I wasn't going to, but a friend sent it to me, and I couldn't not watch. I cried. A lot. Not because of the pain in your voice, but because I realized you finally understood the depth of what we had, and what we lost. I'm married now. I have a daughter. I'm happy. Truly happy. But I want you to know this, I never hated you. I was never angry at you for chasing your dreams. I just wished I had been part of them. The man you are today, the one who sang that song, that's the man I always knew you could be. Thank you for loving me once. And thank you for letting me go with grace now. Good luck. The world needs your music. Eric read the message 3 times. Then he cried. Not from regret, not from pain, but from closure. Real, gentle, healing closure. During the live shows, Eric performed another original song. Not about Evelyn, but about forgiveness. About healing. About moving forward. He didn't win the competition. He didn't need to. Because for the first time in years, he felt whole. He signed with a small but passionate label. His audition song, the song I never got to sing, became a global hit, topping charts and becoming an anthem for broken hearts across continents. I sent this to my ex. I finally apologized to someone I hurt. This song healed me. Sometimes your greatest pain becomes someone else's greatest salvation. He kept performing, kept writing, kept growing. But every time he stepped on stage, he carried Evelyn's message in his chest like a soft, steady light.